In November 2023, in a room in London, a single bottle of whiskey sold for $2.7 million. Not a case, not a collection. One bottle, the kind that fits in your hand. It is the most expensive bottle of wine or spirit ever sold anywhere by anyone. The whiskey inside was distilled in 1926 and bottled 60 years later. And here is the part that should bother you a little. That price is not really about the taste at all. So how does a bottle of liquid climb to the cost of a house in the suburbs and then keep climbing? That is the whole story. Start with what is actually in the glass. In 1926, the Macallan distillery filled a single cask of whiskey and left it to sleep in Speyside in Scotland. It stayed in that one cask for 60 years. When they finally bottled it in 1986, that one cask gave them just 40 bottles. That is the entire world's supply ever. 40. To make those bottles special, the distillery hired artists to design the labels. 12 of the 40 were given a label by the Italian painter Valerio Addiachmi, and each one holds 750 milliliters, a standard bottle, the same size that sits on a shelf in any liquor store. Nothing about the container is unusual. Everything about the scarcity is. Now watch the price climb, decade by decade. The earliest sale anyone can document was in 1987. Back then, one of these bottles changed hands for about £5,000. A lot of money, but not insane. Then the world noticed. In 2018 at Christie's, a Macallan 1926 became the first bottle of whiskey in history to break £1 million. 1 year later, in October 2019, at Sotheby's, another one sold for $1.9 million and took the world record. And then in 2023, the record we started with, $2.7 million, from £5,000 to nearly $3 million in about 36 years. Different bottles, mind you, but all the same whiskey, poured from that one 1926 cask. And even that final number hides a smaller trick. When the bottles sold in 2023, the auctioneer's hammer actually came down at £1.75 million. But that is not what the buyer paid. On top of the hammer price, the auction house adds its own fee, a buyer's premium. That fee pushed the total to nearly £2.2 million, which is the $2.7 million you keep hearing. So a quarter of the headline price was never for the whiskey at all. It was the cost of being allowed to bid in the room. Worth remembering because the bottle itself was about to get even stranger. Here is what the auction glamour does not tell you. That record bottle, the most expensive ever sold, was quietly reconditioned by the distillery before the sale. They gave it a new cork. They remade its capsule, the seal over the cap, all the way over in Austria. They re-glued its labels, and they drew out a single milliliter to test what was inside. So the trophy is not entirely a 1926 time capsule. It is partly a 2023 restoration. Meanwhile, of the 40 bottles that ever existed, at least one is believed to have been opened and simply drunk, gone forever. And of the 12 painted by Addiachmi, only about 10 are thought to still exist at all. The thing collectors are bidding millions for is rarer than even the auction makes it sound. So put a real human number on it. What does it cost to actually drink this? Do the arithmetic yourself. Spread that $2.7 million across the bottle, and a single 1-ounce pour, the kind of bartender slides across a bar without thinking, comes to about $107,000. 1 ounce, one mouthful, more than most people make in a year, swallowed in a few seconds. At that price, you are not drinking whiskey anymore. You are drinking a sports car, a college fund, a deposit on a home in one sip. And that is the moment the whole thing stops being about flavor and starts being about something else entirely. Let us break it down even smaller so you can feel it. Take that $2.7 million and divide it by the 750 milliliters in the bottle. That works out to roughly $3,600 for every single milliliter. A milliliter is about one fat raindrop. Pour yourself a normal small dram, 25 milliliters, the modest measure a bar would serve, and you are holding about $91,000 of liquid in a glass. Those are calculated figures, our own arithmetic on the public price, so call them rough. But the point survives the rounding. Every drop you swallow is worth more than the chair you are sitting in. Step all the way back and the strangeness comes into focus. The most valuable thing about this whiskey is that it can never be made again. Every sip taken anywhere in the world makes the survivors rarer, and so more expensive. It has stopped behaving like a drink and started behaving like a painting or a rare stamp. And here is how far that goes. Around the time of the record sale, a man in Scotland realized the empty presentation case he had picked up years earlier on eBay for about £200 was now valued at $138,000. An empty box, No whiskey in it at all, worth around $175,000 just for once having held one of these bottles. Nobody pays $2.7 million to enjoy a glass. They pay it to own the last of something. So what does the world's most expensive bottle of whiskey really cost? On paper, $2.7 million, but the honest answer is stranger. It costs you the one thing a bottle is actually for. The moment you open it, you destroy the very thing you paid for, so you own a whiskey you can never really taste. So is it worth it? As a drink, of course not. Nobody needs a $100,000 mouthful. But as the last of something the world can never make again. For the collector who needs to hold the rarest bottle on earth, it is worth every untouchable cent. That is the real price, and it is not printed on the label. Next, we put another tiny, impossibly expensive object on the scale. The most expensive wristwatch ever sold, the one that outbid every other watch in history, and what its buyer was really paying for. Every figure you just saw is traced to a named source, listed in full in the description below.